Do you ever find yourself just stuck in your own head? Replaying conversations over and over, or just endlessly worrying about the future? Yeah, that's overthinking, and pretty much all of us deal with it. So today, we're going to break down 3 simple psychology-backed techniques you can start using, like right now, to break free. Let's jump in. You know that feeling, right? It's like being on a mental treadmill that you just can't get off of. Your mind grabs onto a problem, and suddenly you're trapped in this endless loop of what ifs. It's not just exhausting, it can be completely paralyzing. But here's the good news. You are not powerless against this cycle. Not at all. There are some really simple but powerful tools that can help you step off that treadmill and get your mental space back. So let's dive into the first one. All right, so our first technique is all about seeing your thoughts for what they really are, just thoughts. It's about creating a little bit of distance, and the way we do that is with a technique called label it. Now, I know this might sound way too simple to actually work, but trust me, the simple act of labeling a thought is an incredibly powerful psychological tool. So what does it actually look like in practice? Okay, think of it this way. Instead of being caught out in the middle of a rainstorm, you're now inside, just watching it through a window. When you pause and say to yourself, oh, this is me worrying, or okay, that's my anxiety talking, you're not judging it. You're just naming it. And that tiny little step creates some breathing room and seriously reduces its power over you. And this slide, it shows that shift perfectly. On the left side, you are the worry. It's completely consuming you. But on the right, you're observing the worry. By saying, this is just worrying, you separate yourself from that emotion. And that allows you to pivot your brain towards something you can actually control, like preparing for that meeting. Okay, so now that you know how to get a little distance from your thoughts, let's talk about how to stop them from completely taking over your day. And that brings us to our second technique, limit it. This probably seems impossible, right? How in the world do you put a leash on your own mind? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple, and it all comes down to using a timer. Let me introduce you to the 5-minute rule. This thing is a total game changer, because it doesn't ask you to just stop thinking or suppress your thoughts, which we all know is impossible. Instead, it gives them a very specific time and place. It's basically like telling your brain, hey, you can worry all you want, but only for the next 5 minutes. It's really this easy. You set a timer on your phone for 5 minutes, and for those 5 minutes, you let your mind go wild. Worry, analyze, plan, do whatever you need to do. But the second that timer goes off, you're done. You physically have to get up and do something else. This starts to teach your brain that there's a time for thinking and, more importantly, a time for living. So we've learned to label our thoughts, and we've learned to put a time limit on them. But what happens if you're still feeling stuck in that loop? Well, this is where our third and maybe our most powerful technique comes in. Act on it. See, overthinking absolutely loves it when we do nothing. It thrives on inaction. So the single best way to short-circuit that whole process is to do something, anything really, to move forward. And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? A lot of overthinking comes from feeling powerless. But when you take even one small step, you're not just getting something done. You're sending a really powerful message back to your brain that says, hey, I am in control here. And remember, we are talking about baby steps here, seriously. If you're staring at a blank page for an essay, just write one single sentence. If a huge project feels totally overwhelming, just send one email to get it started. These little wins, they're like fuel for your motivation. They can spark a whole fire of productivity and confidence. Okay, let's pull all of this together. We've just walked through 3 incredibly powerful tools that, when you use them together, make up a complete toolkit for managing that overthinking mind. So here's a quick recap of your new toolkit. First up, you label it. Just step back and see your thoughts without any judgment. Second, you limit it. Use that 5-minute rule to give your thoughts a boundary. And third, you act on it. Swap out all that rumination for a small, simple action. Think of this as your go-to guide for a clearer mind. The best part about all of this is how simple it is. You don't need years of practice or intense meditation. These are real tools you can literally start using today, right now, in this moment, to get some of your peace of mind back. So, I'm going to leave you with this question. Which one of these tools are you going to try first? The next time you feel your mind starting to spin, are you going to label it, limit it, or act on it? The choice is totally yours. Thanks so much for joining me on this little journey to a quiet